I was approached by another extortionist today. Does she say that?
No, she's talking very carefully.
And you say carefully, but isn't carefully the same thing as code?
No, they're two totally separate things. You know the difference?
You weren't really giving her money for a TV, were you?
Giving her money for a TV?
This TV is probably going to be about $5.
Okay.
I need you to bring cash tonight.
I wish she picked another object on planet Earth other than TV. But TV is code for absolutely nothing. There is no code in this case involving TV, and you keep circling and circling and circling TV, you're wrong.
Is it a coincidence that the repair of the TV that you bought Wendy as a divorce gift because it was cheaper than hiring a hitman is your sister's alibi for the murder, and then your mom brings up TV, first call on the wire?
It's not an alibi for a murder. She had a broken TV. You got to ask Lincoln who threw the remote at the TV.
Was it a coincidence? Is the TV thing a coincidence? That's what I hear you saying.
Oh, that the repairman was there that day?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is a coincidence for sure. There's a couple of coincidences in this case.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I said there's a couple of coincidences in this case. I mean, she had people send her an email to go buy a bottle of Bullet bourbon for their Stock the Bar party, and she was driving to a liquor store to buy a bottle of Bullet bourbon on that day, at that time, and her friend sent the email, and you have the email and evidence. Like, is that a coincidence? Yeah, coincidences happen.
And the you might not be the right Katie talk, that doesn't seem to really fit with your theory of the case, does it? What was your explanation for that? Why you kept saying you might not be the right Katie? I mean, she's definitely the right Katie, right?
Absolutely. She knew it was. I was implying it was her. I was just trying to say I'm not setting you up, but I need your help.
On call B, you call your mom back, and you say, you probe her a little bit, and ultimately you say, you think someone's trying to blackmail you? That's crazy. Why does it sound like this is something that's new and unfathomable to you at that moment?
Well, because I wasn't even following what my mom was talking about on the first call. And on the second call, when she shocked me when she said that. And I'd been extorted before, and her saying to bring cash, everything just didn't sound right.
Could we play clip 4, please? This is from Dolce.
What, sorry, from what?
Clip 4 from Dolce.
Okay.
What if I told you that a successful periodontist driving a Ferrari with vanity plates reading Maestro orchestrated one of the most calculated contract killings in recent American history? What if I told you his weapon wasn't a firearm, but something far more insidious? Money, manipulation, and a family's obsession that would tear through the fabric of justice itself. This is the true story of how a South Florida dentist became a convicted orchestrator of violence, all to solve what he saw as his family's most pressing problem. Before we dive into this chilling case, if true crime stories that examine the darkest corners of human behavior fascinate you, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel, Dark Trail Files, brings you meticulously researched cases with details others miss. We go beyond the headlines to understand not just what happened, but how and why. Your subscription helps us continue investigating these complex stories. Now, let's examine how one man's desire to fix his family's problems led to an unthinkable act of violence.
Even if they had any evidence, the first words out of your mouth on this clip, even if they had any evidence. No. Strike. The quote is, if they had any evidence, we'd have already gone to the airport. And I know you already testified about this, but does an innocent person say, if they had any evidence?
Right. Katie's saying it's the police, and I'm saying that we're innocent. They're not going to have any evidence to show we were part of something that we were part of. If we had any part of this, we'd be going to the airport right now. And I
Isn't
still say
it
the
true,
same thing.
doctor, that they're not going to have any evidence because you were careful?
No, because we weren't a part of this.
You were smart.
No, we weren't a part of this.
You walled yourself off from
I was
the
sure
killers.
they're not going to have evidence to show I did something I didn't do. So we're not running to the airport.
And you're untouchable, right?
No, we didn't do a murder. I wasn't part of a murder. There's no reason to run to the airport.
In the next clip, you're discussing what's going to happen if this person that did the bump goes to the police. And you're going through all these scenarios, these possibilities.
Wait, if he goes to the police?
Yeah, the blackmailer goes to the police. They're going to say, where's the weapon? He's not going to know. He's just going to have hearsay, basically. Someone told me they did it. It's not going to be enough to get the investigation anywhere. Why are you thinking through the possibility of the blackmailer going to the cops if the blackmailer doesn't have any dirt on you to take to the cops?
I wasn't thinking about the blackmailer. What I was trying to say is I don't know anything about Sigfredo. I don't know anything about this crime. I was trying to tell her that I'm harmless. I don't have any knowledge of what went on. The last thing I wanted is that now that she's saying it's the police, is someone to come and kill me and think I'm some kind of loose end. So that's why I'm saying that.
But that's not what you're saying. You're saying if this is a person that Luis Rivera ran his mouth to, and they go to the police, it's going to be worth zero. Because they're not going to know anything other than, hey, my brother told me this.
I don't know if I was saying with someone who knows Luis Rivera. I was trying to make a point that I don't know anything.
And then you suggest what they would have to do is get him to wear a wire and get the person to confess, and that's probably what this could be, an effort to do, right?
Well, they're thinking that we were part of a murder. So this was the same thing I said before, is that this is their theory. So this is a police tactic, and it could be either a bad guy or the police, and this is how they're pursuing it.
Exactly. So as long as you keep your mouth shut, you can get away with murder, right?
No, not at all.
Isn't that what you told Ryan Fitzpatrick?
No, Ryan Fitzpatrick is someone who stole over $500,000 from me.
That's not my question, sir.
Sorry.
Did you say that to Ryan Fitzpatrick?
No, never. Never at all.
Why do you go into so much detail about rental car examples? Let's start with, strike that. Can you agree that the Prius, you knew that the police were looking for a Prius at the time you met at this Dolce Vita restaurant?
I think it had been released at that time.
All right, and you heard the recording. You're arguing. Let's play the clip. This is going to be clip, I think let's play 7 and 8, please. Dolce.
Because the fact is, it's like, even if, let's say, just out of my car, and then I go ahead and I get in the car, and then I go, and you're dating in the car, I go, yeah, she was in my car, and he got out, and she did this horrible crime. Okay, if they come and they get the DNA in the car, they go, yep, he was in my car. No, he sat in the car for 2 minutes, got out of the AC, and then got out of the car. He has nothing to do with you guys and broken me. Outside of that, there's no evidence. Okay? If you have a car and you can link this person to renting that car that you okay. But you have to prove that they were also driving that day and rented it and lent it to a friend. What if you rented a car and I go, hey, can I borrow for the weekend? I'll bring it back on Tuesday. You go, yeah, sure. So you rented the car. So you've been in that car. I drive into fucking Orlando. I rob McDonald's in Orlando. I come back and I go, here's the keys, Katie. And you go, okay, thanks. Yeah, you rented it. But what if you were fucking out all weekend and you didn't even know I took your car? I did something and I brought it back. My point is, I don't have any knowledge of what went on. Evidently, this person is either pretending to or does. I don't want someone paying business.
Sounds like you're saying, even if they track down the Prius, even if there's DNA or fingerprints in the Prius, meaning like they can link someone to the Prius, That's not going to be enough evidence to make any arrests in this case. Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all. What I'm doing is I'm restating.
You've answered my question.
Can I give you an
On redirect, you'll have an opportunity.
Well,
my question was.
One moment.
My question
We're not
was-
just wildly arguing. Mr. Adelson, please answer the question.
okay.
I can just ask you a yes or no question.
Please allow me
and
to answer your question.
Okay.
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Knock yourself out.
What I was saying to Katie is that the information she had just told me in the car about Sigfredo not being there when the crime was committed, she told me that Sigfredo was high on drugs at the hotel and that Luis had rented a car and that he's the one who killed Dan. And I'm restating to her that I don't have any knowledge of what went on, and that all I know is that Sigfredo wasn't even there when this happened. So that's what I'm restating to her.
That Sigfredo can't be caught even if he's connected to the crime, to the car?
I know that Sigfredo wasn't the one who killed Dan.
Okay.
On July 18th, 2014, a brilliant mind was extinguished in broad daylight. Dan Markel, a respected law professor at Florida State University, pulled into his Benton Hills garage around 11 in the morning. Within moments, 2 shots rang out. The father of 2 young boys, ages 3 and 5, would die the following day, leaving behind a legacy of scholarship and 2 children who would grow up without him. But this wasn't a random act of violence. This was a carefully planned execution, born from a bitter custody dispute and fueled by a family's determination to reunite at any cost. Dan and Winnie Adelson had divorced in 2013. Despite the end of their marriage, a judge granted them 50-50 custody of their 2 sons. There was just one problem that the Adelson family couldn't accept. Dan refused to allow Wendy to relocate with the children from Tallahassee to South Florida, over 370 miles away. The Adelsons were a tight-knit, wealthy family who had built their fortune through their dental practice in South Florida. For them, having Wendy and the grandchildren so far away was unbearable. Court records would later reveal that the Adelsons even offered Dan $1 million to allow the move. He refused. For Dan, this wasn't about money. It was about being a father to his children, maintaining his relationship with his sons, and his career at Florida State University. That refusal would seal his fate. Charlie Adelson wasn't just Wendy's older brother. He was the family's problem solver, the one who believed that money could fix anything. A successful periodontist, Charlie was pulling in between $3 and $3.5 million annually from his practice. He drove a Ferrari, lived a flashy lifestyle, and wore his success like armor. To Charlie, obstacles weren't permanent. They were simply problems waiting for the right price tag. Financial investigators would later discover that the Adelson family had over $8 million in the bank and more than $4 million in investments, not counting their homes, cars, and other assets. They had the means to do almost anything. The question that would haunt this case: did they have the will to commit violence? The evidence suggests that by Halloween of 2013, Charlie had already begun planting seeds of a dark plan. According to testimony that would emerge years later, Charlie approached his then-girlfriend, Catherine Magbanua, during that Halloween season. The conversation started subtly. He asked if she knew anyone who could hurt someone. At first, it seemed almost hypothetical, but as months passed, the request became more urgent, more specific. Catherine Magbanua would eventually break her silence about those early conversations. What she revealed painted a picture of manipulation and calculated planning.
When you get to the house, you said you called Katie after your shower. Why did you call her?
To see if she was still planning on coming over and what time she was going to be there, because it was already like 10:15.
And did she come to your house that night?
Yeah, she said she was going to be leaving shortly, and I think I even said either text me or call me when you're on your way.
Did she actually come to your house that evening?
Yes, she did.
Okay. Around what time did she arrive?
She got there about 11 o'clock.
What happened when she arrived?
When she arrived to my house, she came in through the garage, entered into the kitchen from the side door like she always does, and she just looked panicked and upset. I mean, she walked straight in and gives me this big, tight hug and asked me, like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, just a horrible day." But she looked more upset than I've ever seen her. I'm like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "Just come sit down. I need to talk to you."
Where did you go?
We walked into the living room.
And what happened when you got to the living room?
We sat down on the couch, and she started to talk to me. And she said, "Listen, this is all my fault, but I had no idea anything was going to happen, but this is totally my fault. I spoke in too much detail about your family's personal problems, about your sister, Dan Markel, and the $1 million offer."
What did you say?
I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "My friend killed Dan, and he wants to be paid $1/3 of $1 million."
How did you react?
I was like, "What did you just say?" And she's like, "My friend killed Dan, and he wants you to pay $1/3 of $1 million."
What happened next?
I stood up, and I started cursing it. And I'm like, "What the fuck? Are you kidding me?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, Who did this? Who's your friend that did this?" And she's like, "I don't want to say. I can't say." And I said, Who was it?" And she just kept saying, "I'm not going to tell you." And I was like, was it Sigfredo? And she's like, "No, I'm not telling you." And I just walked in my bedroom and sat down on the edge of my bed.
What happened when you got in the bedroom?
She came into the bedroom, followed after me. She sat down next to me. She started telling me, like, "I'm so sorry. This is all my fault, but I didn't know any of this was going to happen." And I'm like, "Katie, I'm not going to be part of this shit. Like, I'm not going to be part of paying for a murder. This is insane."
Catherine Magbanua was the crucial link in this conspiracy. She had a unique position in two separate worlds. On one side, she was romantically involved with Charlie Adelson, dating him between 2013 and 2015. On the other side, she shared 2 children with Sigfredo Garcia, a man with connections to the Latin Kings gang. Garcia's childhood friend, Luis Rivera, was also a gang member serving time on unrelated charges. This connection would prove invaluable to Charlie's plan. Through Catherine, Charlie had access to people willing to do violence for money. People who didn't know Dan Markel. People who had no connection to the Adelson family's custody battle. People who could make a problem disappear. The prosecution would later reveal that Charlie arranged to pay $100,000 for Dan Markel's life. That money would be split 3 ways, between Luis Rivera, Sigfredo Garcia, and Catherine Magbanua. It was a business transaction, cold and calculated, where human life had a price tag. But Charlie was careful. He didn't meet with the hired individuals directly. He maintained distance, using Catherine as his go-between. No direct phone calls between Charlie and the men who would pull the trigger. No paper trail that directly connected them. Everything filtered through Catherine. After Dan Markel's life ended in that garage, the financial transactions tell their own story. Forensic accountant Mary Hull testified about what she discovered when she analyzed bank records. In the months immediately following the killing, Catherine Magbanua experienced a dramatic spike in cash deposits into her account. In 2014, she deposited about 3 times as much cash as the year before. The month of the crime showed the highest amount of cash deposits in a 4-year span. Catherine's testimony would reveal disturbing details about the night of the incident and the money that changed hands.
Ma'am, please say your name and spell your name.
Catherine Magbanua, Katherine Magbanua.
I see that you're in jail clothes. Are you currently in custody?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you in custody for?
For murder?
Are you doing a sentence for murder?
Yes, ma'am.
You were convicted of murder?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that the murder of Dan Markel?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a trial in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you testify?
Yes, ma'am.
You testified on your own behalf?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And when you testified, were you truthful with the jury?
No, ma'am. I was not.
Did you take the same oath that you just took today in your own trial?
Yes, ma'am.
What was your defense when you were tried?
That I had nothing to do with it.
All right. That we got it right in reference to Charlie Adelson and we got it right in reference to the killers,
Yes,
but you
ma'am.
weren't in the middle.
Yes, ma'am.
Was that true?
No, ma'am, it was not.
Were you in the middle?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And didn't you also testify in the trial in which Sigfredo Garcia was convicted of murder?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And what was his defense?
That he had nothing to do with it.
That we got it right in reference to Charlie Adelson and we got it right in reference to the killers, but he had nothing to do with it,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Objection, Your Honor. B.
Overruled, Ms. Calhoun, make sure you use any questions.
And was that defense truthful?
No, ma'am, it was not.
So Sigfredo Garcia was involved.
Yes, ma'am, he was.
So why tell the truth now?
I believe that the truth needed to come out now so that the family can get some type of closure.
Why didn't the truth need to come out last year or the year before or the year before that?
I was trying to defend myself.
You were trying to get off.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you think you'd be successful in your trial with that defense?
I thought so.
Has anyone promised you anything for your testimony here today?
No, ma'am.
Weren't you originally offered immunity for cooperation in this case?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
But you didn't take us up on that
No, ma'am, I didn't.
because you thought you could get off completely.
Yes,
Right?
ma'am.
And now you're doing a life sentence.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Did Charlie Adelson threaten to harm you if you told the truth?
No, ma'am, he didn't threaten me.
Did anybody threaten you to keep your silence?
No, ma'am.
Did anybody promise you anything if you remained silent all these years?
I wasn't promised anything, but I wasn't promised anything.
Go ahead, finish your thought. You weren't promised anything, but what?
I thought everything was going to be okay.
You thought you'd be acquitted.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so did you know Dan Markel?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Did you have any personal beef with him?
No, ma'am, I did not.
What was your motivation for becoming a part of this murder plot?
Financially,
So not as a favor to Charlie Adelson?
Objection, Your Honor.
What is the objection?
Leading.
I'll rephrase it, Your
Sorry.
Honor. Was it a favor to Charlie Adelson?
yes, ma'am, it was.
Okay, but your primary motivation was not favor to Charlie Adelson?
Well, yes, ma'am, it was. And financially.
All right, because you were going to get paid for
Yes.
your part?
Yes,
How much
ma'am.
did you get paid?
I don't know the exact amount.
What was your relationship to Charlie Adelson?
He was my ex-boyfriend.
When did you meet him?
I believe that was in 2013.
Do you know what month?
Has to be around September.
Can you point him out and describe what he's wearing?
He's sitting over there with a blue jacket and a blue tie.
Let the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant.
The record will reflect.
Show you what I marked as states 48. Recognize this exhibit?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How do you recognize it?
That's when we went to Key West.
Is that a fair and accurate photo of you and Charlie Adelson?
Yes, ma'am, it
Is
is.
that when the two of you were taken when the two of you were dating?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, at this time I'd ask to move into evidence states 48.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
48 is admitted.
Do we have that for publication? So was this photo taken before or after the murder?
Before.
Who came up with the idea to kill Dan Markel?
Charlie.
So Sigfredo Garcia didn't come up with the idea?
No, ma'am, he did not.
Luis Rivera didn't come up with the idea?
No, ma'am, he did not.
When did the defendant first bring this idea up to you?
My first recollection was around Halloween of 2013.
Around Halloween or on the actual?
On Halloween, yes, ma'am.
All right. What's your recollection of how that came up?
We were at a Halloween party in Lincoln Road, and right before we were about to go, he got in the car with me and he asked me a question.
What was the question?
Do you know anybody that can harm someone?
And did you know anybody that could harm someone?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Who was that?
Sigfredo.
And at the time, what was your relationship with Sigfredo?
Wasn't the best.
But he was the father of your children, right?
Yes, ma'am. He is.
So were you dating both men at this time, or were you only dating Charlie?
No, I was only dating Charlie.
Okay. And so he meaning the defendant, initially said, do you know anyone that could harm someone? Was he aware of your connection to Sigfredo Garcia when he made that statement?
Not that I know of. No, ma'am.
Did you suggest Sigfredo Garcia at that time to the defendant?
No, ma'am.
What did you say?
I just said yes and kind of left it alone.
All right. Did it go any further than that at that time?
Not that night. I don't
Did
believe
you
so.
know who he wanted harmed at that time?
No, ma'am.
All right. Had you become aware during the course of your relationship with him that he had some kind of issue going on with his sister's ex-husband?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What did you learn about that?
He was just stating that his mom and dad was stressed, and that his sister was having problems with her husband and custody of her 2 children.
And when did you learn that the person that the defendant wanted harmed was this ex-husband of the sister?
I believe later on.
All right. And when did you learn the name Dan Markel?
It wasn't until, I don't know if it was on my trial or when Sigfredo got arrested.
Okay, so even when he was killed, you didn't know the name of the person that was being killed?
Yes, I never knew his name.
How did the defendant refer to this person, if not by the name Dan or Danny Markel?
Wendy's husband.
Okay. So you knew that the person that was going to be initially harmed was Wendy's husband?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you knew that there were issues, or what did you know about the beef with him?
He painted this picture that this was a terrible man and making his family go through a lot custody-wise with his sister.
All right, and when he would say these things to you, is it in the context of his mom specifically or his family in general?
I believe it was more towards his mom.
Meaning what?
That his mom hasn't been sleeping, his mom is not eating. I know his dad wasn't the best health either, but he would refer to his mom a lot.
All right. And the reason she wasn't sleeping or eating, did that have to do with this ex-husband of Wendy?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever...
Catherine described going to Charlie's house on the night of July 18th, 2014, to collect the payment. She found Charlie frantic, pacing back and forth, holding a firearm. His parents had just left, he told her. He handed her an envelope filled with cash, stapled inside a plastic bag within a paper bag. The money totaled $138,000. But something strange happened with that money. Days later, when Catherine touched the bills, they were damp and starting to develop mold. When she asked Charlie about it, he explained that his mother, Donna, had washed the money. This bizarre detail would become a key piece of evidence, suggesting Donna's direct involvement in handling the payment for her former son-in-law's elimination. The Adelson family's attempt to legitimize their payments to Catherine didn't stop with that initial cash payment. Within months of the incident, Catherine began receiving regular checks from the Adelson Institute, the family's dental practice. Over nearly 2 years, she received 44 checks, each signed by Donna Adelson. The checks amounted to $3,000 per month. Employees of the dental practice would later testify that Catherine never actually worked there. They knew her only as Charlie's girlfriend and a patient. Charlie also paid for Catherine's car repairs, a trip to the Dominican Republic, and 96% of her breast augmentation surgery. All these payments were documented, creating what prosecutors would call a clear pattern of compensation. The defense would argue these were gifts from a generous boyfriend, but the timing and amounts told a different story. Meanwhile, Luis Rivera and Sigfrido Garcia weren't hiding their newfound wealth either. Within weeks of the killing, they posted pictures on social media showing off brand new motorcycles. Rivera bought a car. Garcia bought two. The money was flowing, and they weren't subtle about spending it. But in their minds, they were safe. They'd done a job far from home, for people they'd never met. What could possibly connect them to a law professor in Tallahassee? Everything was going according to plan. Or so they thought, because investigators were about to find the one clue that would begin unraveling this entire conspiracy. A neighbor's 911 call provided the crucial break. After hearing shots, the neighbor reported seeing a light-colored Toyota Prius speeding away from Markel's home. That detail became the thread investigators pulled to unravel the entire conspiracy. Luis Rivera would eventually cooperate with authorities, and his testimony revealed the cold mechanics of how the plot unfolded.
I want to clarify one thing. You didn't extort Charlie Adelson, right?
No.
One moment. Veronica, are you having problems still hearing? All right. If you can assist him. Mr. Rivera, make sure you speak as loudly as you can,
right,
sir.
Thank you.
And the answer to that question was no, right?
No.
You were paid $37,000 in your role in the murder of Professor Markel, right?
Yes.
You were supposed to be paid $35,000.
Yes.
Sigfrido Garcia, the shooter, gave you an extra $2,000, right?
Yes.
Your understanding was that the total payment was $100,000, correct?
Yes.
And that it was a one-time payment.
Yes, sir.
And you were told that you, Sigfrido, and Katie were hired by a lady to do a murder for hire, right?
No. If I was told by the lady?
No, I'm sorry. Let me slow down. You were told by Sigfrido that all of you were hired by a lady to do the murder, right?
Yeah.
That you were doing it so that she could get her kids back.
Yes, sir.
And all of your information came from Sigfrido Garcia and Katie, correct?
Sigfrido, yes, sir.
Okay. And all of Sigfrido's information, to your knowledge, came from Katie, right?
Yes, sir.
Everything you knew about the murder plot came from Sigfrido.
Yes, sir.
According to you, Katie was the mastermind.
Yes, sir.
She was the one, as you've said, running the shots.
Yes, sir.
Anything that Sigfrido or you did in connection with the murder had to be cleared through Katie, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Sigfrido and Katie lied to you about a lot of things about this murder, right?
Lied about what?
Well, let's go through it. For starters, during the first trip in early June, Sigfrido told you that you were going to do a robbery, right?
Yes, sir.
Not until on the way up did you find out that you were going to do a murder.
Yes, sir.
Before the July trip, you didn't want to go, right?
Yes, sir.
And to convince you, Sigfrido again told you that you were just going there to scope things out.
Yes, sir.
During the second trip, the day before the murder, you drove by Professor Markel's house. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
And you testified that at some point after you arrived at Markel's house, after noon on the 17th, you saw a woman and two kids walking on Trescott by the house.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And the woman looked at you as the Prius passed and immediately got on her phone.
Yes, sir.
You testified that you asked Sigfrido what was up with the lady. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
And Sigfrido responded that that's her. That's the guy's wife That's the one that wants the kids back.
Yes, sir.
You asked Sigfredo what the lady was doing there on Trescott with the kids.
Yes, sir.
And Sigfredo responded that she came there to make sure that everything was all right,
Absolutely.
meaning all right with the plan.
Yes, sir.
As you sit here now, you're aware that the woman and the kids on the street was not the same lady, right?
I don't know if that was her or not, but she looked at my car.
It's possible that Sigfredo lied to you, right?
Who knows?
Another lie that Sigfredo and strike that, Your Honor. Your understanding is that the money for the murder would be paid by the lady, right?
Yes, sir.
Again, your understanding came from Sigfredo.
Yes, sir.
You didn't go with Katie to get the money, right?
No.
So you don't know where she got it from,
No.
and you don't know what happened when she got it.
No.
Sigfredo never told you that he and Katie got more than $100,000 the night of the murder, did he?
No.
That would make sense why you got an extra $2,000, right?
Maybe.
And Katie never told you that they got more than $100,000 the night of the murder, right?
No.
Sigfredo never told you that he and Katie were getting paid every month after the murder, right?
Never knew nothing about that.
You didn't know that they were getting paid $3,000 a month.
No.
You didn't know that they were getting paid $1,000 in Adelson Institute checks, did you?
Nope.
But you saw that Sigfredo was spending a lot of money, right?
Yes.
You saw that Sigfredo even told you that he had paid for Katie's breast augmentation surgery, right? Her breast surgery?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. If he told me about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He told you he paid for it, right?
That's what he said.
You didn't know that Katie was getting money from Charlie Adelson every month in an extortion plot, did you?
No.
In May of 2015, you get arrested on a federal RICO case, right?
Yes, sir.
And you were detained.
Yes, sir.
And you wanted to get out of prison, right? You wanted to get a bail.
Yeah.
You started thinking about the fact that Katie and Sigfredo seemed to be spending a lot of money, right?
No.
Okay. So let's briefly recap all the lies that they told you. Not that you made, but that they told you. They lied to you about the purpose of the trip going to Tallahassee, right?
Yeah.
They lied to you about who the lady was on the street.
Yeah.
They lied to you about the amount of money they received.
Yeah.
They lied to you about getting money every month.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it possible that they lied to you about the purpose of the job to begin with?
They don't even got the money. Where they gonna get the money from?
Isn't it possible that you thought it was a murder for hire, but it was really an extortion?
Extortion to who?
Charlie Adelson, not from you, but from them.
Okay.
Isn't it possible?
I don't know.
By the way, on Friday, you testified that you just wanted to rob the lady, right?
Yes, sir.
But Sigfredo was adamant. We can't rob the lady. We got to do the murder.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that because he wanted to keep on getting money every month?
I don't know.
But you would have just robbed him, right?
Yep.
Would have been a lot easier, right?
Real quick.
Would have been a one-time payment, right?
That's it.
Couldn't have gotten paid over time, though, right?
I don't know.
Well, if you rob someone, it's hard to keep robbing them over and over and over again.
Absolutely, of course.
All right, so I want to back up a little bit, and I thank you for your honesty there. You've never met Charlie Adelson, correct?
Nope.
You've never seen him before this case.
Nope.
You've never spoken to him by phone.
Never.
And you've never communicated with him in any way.
Never.
You've never met Donna or Harvey Adelson.
Nobody.
You never spoken to them by phone.
I didn't meet nobody.
And the same goes with Wendy Adelson, correct?
Nobody.
You know Sigfredo your whole life.
Yes, sir.
You're like brothers.
Yes, sir.
You've known Katie since she and Sigfredo started dating when they were teenagers.
Yes, sir.
You considered them to be married.
Yes, sir.
Sigfredo was deeply in love with Katie, right?
Absolutely.
He would do, as you've said, anything for her, right?
Anything.
He was, as you said, blind over her, right?
Yes, sir.
Katie treated him badly.
Yes.
She messed up his head, as you've said, right?
Yes, sir.
At some point, you learned from Sigfredo that Katie was having a relationship with someone she worked with, right?
Yes, sir.
Sigfredo told you that Katie was cheating on him with someone called the dentist.
Yes, sir.
According to what Sigfredo told you, Katie was sleeping with the dentist at the same time she was sleeping with Sigfredo, right?
Yes, sir.
So Sigfredo knew that Katie was cheating on him,
Yes, sir.
and he wasn't too happy about it, right?
Nope.
Sigfredo told you that the dentist had money. Let me rephrase. Sigfredo told you that Katie told him the person she was with was rich.
No.
Through surveillance footage from Dan's gym, city buses, and street cameras, investigators tracked that Prius. Cell phone records placed Rivera and Garcia in the vicinity of Dan's home at the time of the incident. The evidence was building piece by piece. Luis Rivera, facing serious charges on unrelated matters, saw an opportunity. In 2016, he approached prosecutors with information. In exchange for a significantly reduced sentence, he would tell them everything. He revealed that Garcia had shown him a photo of the target and recruited him for the job. Catherine, he said, was the woman in the middle doing everything. He didn't know the names of who hired them, but he knew the reason. Because the lady wants her 2 kids back. She wants full custody of the kids. In October 2016, Rivera pleaded guilty to second-degree charges and was sentenced to 19 years. Sigfredo Garcia went to trial in 2019 and was convicted of first-degree charges, receiving life in prison. Catherine Magbanua's first trial ended in a mistrial when the jury deadlocked. But at her retrial in May 2022, she was convicted and sentenced to life in prison plus 2 additional 30-year sentences. The hired individuals were behind bars, but prosecutors knew they weren't the ones with the motive. The real question remained: who paid for Dan Markel's life to end? By April 2016, investigators had gathered substantial evidence pointing toward the Adelson family, but they needed more. They needed the Adelsons to talk about the crime. So the FBI devised an operation called The Bump. An undercover FBI agent approached Donna Adelson outside her South Beach condominium. Posing as a Latin Kings gang member and brother of Luis Rivera, the agent handed her a flyer. It contained a newspaper article about Dan Markel's case, with $5,000 written on it and a phone number. The agent told her he knew the family had been helping Katie and Tudo, using Sigfredo Garcia's nickname, and that Rivera deserved help too for his role in solving the family's problem up north. Donna appeared flustered, but said she didn't know what he was talking about. However, within minutes of returning to her condominium, she made a call. Not to the police, not to a lawyer. She called her son Charlie. The FBI had wiretaps in place, and what they captured over the next hours and days would become crucial evidence. Listen to how Charlie responds when the undercover agent calls him directly.
Hello?
Hola, diga. Hello, diga.
Hi, who is this?
Who's this?
Someone's been calling my family and trying to figure out who this is.
In reference to what, man?
Someone by the name of Sammy called.
Yeah, that's me, man.
All right, what's going on?
Well, what's going on is my brother Tato. Okay, my brother Tato has not been taken care of. His family's not been taken care of. I talked to a dentist. Why are you calling me? Who are you? I gave the number to a lady. I don't know Tato. You don't know Tato? I'm sure you know Katie and Tuto. They've been taken care of since the family problem been taken care of up north.
I don't know who you are.
You don't? Well, this isn't going away, my friend. Because let me tell you something. I was at Broward with Tato, and he told me the whole story. He told me nobody was taking care of him. Nobody was taking care of his family. The family was taking care of Katie and Tuto, and nothing's been taken care of with Tato. So we know what's going on. And Tato needs to be taken care of. Do the right thing. The lady already has the paperwork. She knows what I'm talking about. We know Katie. We know Tuto. We know they've been taken care of.
All right, let me look at
No more f***ing around, man. No more f***ing around. This ain't going away. You guys need to do the right thing for Tato. That's my brother, man. That's my brother, and he needs to be taken care of. His family needs to be taken care of, just like Katie and Tuto have been taken care of.
I've never met these people, but let me call you back, okay?
That's bullshit, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know this lady. I don't know your relationship with this lady, but we know what the f*** is going on. This ain't going away. Take care of Tato just like you take care of Katie and Tuto, man.
The wiretapped phone calls between Charlie and his mother, Charlie and Catherine, and Charlie and the undercover agent revealed a pattern of suspicious behavior. Donna told Charlie she had received some paperwork hand-delivered to her. Charlie asked if it involved him or other people. Donna replied that it probably involved both of them, adding that Charlie probably had a general idea what she was talking about. When Charlie suggested going to the police, Donna immediately shut down that idea, saying she didn't think that was wise. Why would a victim of extortion not want to involve law enforcement? Prosecutors would argue it's because they weren't victims at all. They were conspirators afraid of exposure. The conversations between Charlie and Catherine after the bump were particularly revealing. Prosecutors argued these calls were filled with coded language.
You may continue with publishing the next call.
Thank you, Judge. The next call is BB.
What happened? Somebody called my dad's office today looking for him, saying that they dropped off some paperwork to him last week, and there was a phone number on there, and actually the person was Erica, and then Erica told my mom up because she's like, normally I wouldn't call you up, but I got a strange phone call.
Where's the phone number that they're calling from, though?
I can ask Erica, but Erica said, "God, my name is Sammy. Called the office this morning, saying that I left some paperwork with Dr. Adelson last week, and I left a number on there, and he needs to call me at that number."
No, somebody's like fucking police in the room and shit.
Well, this is the third.
Call the number. Call the number. They don't want to call on my fucking phone.
There's someone who wants to be called back. Let's put it that way. Do you still have the number?
Yeah, well, obviously that number, nobody's picking up.
Well,
That's not a working number. It's like an email number.
Nobody's calling away. I'm just asking you to find out who the fuck it is.
It's like, get that number that's off of the thing, off of the number, off of the freaking, caller ID.
At the office?
Yeah, obviously. Because this is like a fucking bullshit game.
Well, they're not coming out on foot, they're not writing letters, and they're not calling the office because they have nothing better to do.
Well, I don't know what to tell you because I called that number myself.
Okay, well, let's call that number again and find out what the fuck's going on.
and nobody picks up. And you just tried another number and left a message.
Okay, well,
I'm trying to get whoever's threatening your family and helping you guys out, and trying to help you guys out, but it's like if they don't pick up, then what the fuck? It's like it's a fucking joke.
I understand that they fucking called this morning and they're waiting for the phone call. That's what I'm telling you. And since it's 3 times.
Number or whatever that is that's calling you or your family,
the 305,
whatever it is.
6570. You have the number.
Exactly. That number is obviously it's like a non-working number.
Okay, can you find out?
Okay, and it's like what I don't know how to understand. It's either somebody's pulling your phone, somebody is just harassing you, or somebody's trying to get something out of you.
Find out who the fuck it is, because the other phone call is going to be the FBI. I'm telling you. Well, I'm telling you, and then when they do catch the person, they're going to be asking you lots of questions about whose Katie is.
We already spoke about this. It's like not even like a fucking joke anymore, because obviously it's like somebody's fucking harassing you guys, or somebody's harassing and using my name, and it's like
okay,
I don't know.
Think it through. Find out who the fuck it is. That's all I'm asking.
No, I'm gonna go straight on my fucking cell phone because it's fucking bullshit. It's fucking somebody trying to fucking pinpoint some bullshit. Like it's getting aggravating.
Yeah, it is. All I'm saying is find out who the fuck it is and tell them to stop playing their games. I don't know who you have to talk to, but it needs to be missing the butt.
No, man, I'm gonna handle this shit myself, bro, because it's some fucking bullshit. I'm gonna handle it my motherfucking self. Well, change my motherfucking number. They fucking, if Erica wants to call back and like, oh, is this the right number? Okay, I have your fucking, whatever fucking shit taken care of. Okay? Because it's fucking bullshit. I'm correct, bro. I'm about to go to that fucking FBI. I'm fucking getting irate with this shit already. It's either the FBI fucking playing games or fucking whatever it is because I'm fucking getting pissed.
Alright, go find out.
I'm saying. You give a wrong phone number. Maybe you're an idiot. You give a fucking wrong number. Get the fucking number to fucking call because I'm gonna call them.
Okay.
And the fucking type to me, I don't even fucking give a shit about all this fucking bullshit, whatever shit anymore. Okay. I'm pissed the fuck off. Like, I'm gonna fucking go to the hospital now.
Okay, well, either you go to the cops or we go to the cops.
Exactly.
We'll find out.
We're both gonna fucking go to the cops because this is fucking bullshit.
We'll find out who the fuck this is. Because this person evidently knows you and knows your family.
Yeah,
they know me and they know my family.
So. You don't think that fucking scares the shit out of me? Like somebody fucking saying my name out loud or whatever?
If someone's messing with you, they're messing with me. If someone's messing with me, they're messing with you. It's one and the same. So what I'm saying is, find out who the fuck.
That number doesn't fucking work. If you can get a hold, you go to different offices, call the motherfucking number. See if the fucking number works. Bottom line. Because I tried myself and that shit does not work.
Katie, call them, find out who the fuck it is now. Trust me on this. Find out who the fuck it is.
Get the number, listen to me, and get the number and something on with the things because there were people. I'm going to your parents to go fucking FBI. Where else fucking doing this thing and fucking go and fucking report whoever's harassing me. That's it.
Katie, I gotta get back to it. Do you have the number I gave you the other day?
I have the fucking number. I have
okay, good. Call it.
Listen, I called the number. This is not a working number.
Good.
Get the number that calls your fucking office. Okay. Listen to me for once.
I will. You're going to call Erica?
Fucking A, bro. I'm gonna fucking fuck up whoever the fuck is fucking with me.
I'm going to call my mom and have my mom call
the office. Get the fucking number. Because somebody's fucking parents, my number's been called and that's not a working number. It's either somebody's playing you, somebody's tapping into some shit, and somebody's just trying to fucking aggravate somebody.
Okay, let me.
And I'm aggravated.
Do you want me to have Erica go on the caller ID and look to see what number that was that called?
It's a number. Obviously, you're calling from somewhere else. If it's not the same number that you say, how about you call and find that out?
Okay, do me a favor. Try that number I gave you the other day, and I'm going to call my mom and tell her to call Erica and ask her to look it up on the caller ID. Okay? But call me.
Whatever it is.
right. Tension's rising a little bit.
A little bit.
Charlie called Catherine and told her about the bump, using careful language. In their wiretap conversations, they discussed tenants, investments, and paperwork. Prosecutors argued these were code words. When Charlie explained the potential problems with paying a potential extortionist, he talked about how they're constantly knocking at your door to fix things, and it becomes something that will never, ever end. The next day, Charlie and Catherine met at the Dolce Vita restaurant in Miami. The FBI recorded the entire conversation. Though the audio quality was initially poor due to restaurant noise, forensic audio experts would later enhance the recording, revealing crucial dialogue that had been previously obscured. During that meeting, Charlie pondered whether the man who approached his mother was a potential extortionist or police officer. He made a telling statement. How do you get people to talk? You throw a smoke grenade, and then you get all the cockroaches to run out. Even more damning, Charlie discussed why he wasn't worried about being taken into custody. If they had any evidence, we would have already gone to the airport. That statement suggested consciousness of guilt. An innocent person wouldn't be evaluating whether there was enough evidence for their detention. Charlie also said something that would chill prosecutors when they finally heard the enhanced audio years later. He instructed Catherine on how to handle the supposed extortionist, suggesting a one-time charity payment. He warned her about what would happen if they went to authorities. The FBI. The FBI. We're talking about a bigwig in the FBI, not like the first-year rookie. You're going to have a 20-year vet with the FBI knocking at your door. How would an innocent man know so much about FBI procedures and investigation tactics? But despite all this evidence, prosecutors still didn't feel they had enough for charges. Not yet. Charlie remained free, confident he had gotten away with it. That confidence would last for 6 more years, until April 2022, when enhanced audio technology finally gave prosecutors the breakthrough they needed. On April 21st, 2022, nearly 8 years after Dan Markel's life ended, Charlie Adelson was taken into custody. He was charged with first-degree criminal charges, conspiracy to commit the same, and solicitation for the same. Charlie's trial began on October 26, 2023, the day before his 47th birthday. The prosecution laid out a devastating case, built on financial records, wiretap calls, cell phone data, and testimony from both Luis Rivera and Catherine Magbanua, who had finally decided to tell the truth. Charlie took the stand in his own defense, a risky move. His testimony would be carefully scrutinized.
Did you have any input on the decision to change the boys' names from Markel to Adelson?
Absolutely not.
Do you and Donna have to protect Wendy?
No.
Does Wendy appreciate everything you and Donna do for her?
You got to ask her. I mean, she's my sister. I love her. I try to give her my best advice I can. And if I care about her, and I give her my advice, whether she takes it or not, is up to her. She's a grown woman.
Let me ask it another way. Do you feel, or isn't it true that you don't feel that Wendy appreciates everything you and Donna do for her?
My sister had no idea what I've been through in the last, God knows how many years, and what I wake up worrying, am I going to get killed? Am I going to get arrested? And she knows none of it. She's just going around her life, and I had somewhat of an innate anger towards her. Mm-hmm. You know, probably unjust because she didn't know what happened. But yeah, I was upset.
And weren't you saying on the wire that she doesn't appreciate what you and Donna have done for her?
I don't know if I said that she doesn't appreciate what I've done for her, because I never did anything for her.
Okay, so that was my next question. What have you done for her? Nothing?
Other than give her advice and care about her, be a big brother that loves her.
Would you say Wendy's a little bit spoiled?
In some regards, I mean, she gets a lot of help, for sure.
Is she a little less savvy about how the world works than you are?
I don't know. I mean, you got to ask her.
Could you trust Wendy with a secret that could ruin your life?
It's not a secret. It's something that would get me killed, so I didn't want to tell her.
Can we agree that she obviously knew something about this crime?
She found out when she came to court. I never told her anything.
I'm talking about the murder of Dan Markel. She knew something, right? I mean, it's not a coincidence she went to the crime scene, is it?
You're talking about the route that she took that day?
I'm talking about her pulling up to the crime scene tape.
She never went to the crime scene. She was going to buy a bottle of liquor that coincidentally the person sent her a stock the bar party buy a bottle of bullet bourbon that she was going to pick up. She wasn't driving to a crime scene. And I think she made that clear too. Nobody knew a murder was taking place.
She pulled up to the crime scene tape, Dr. Adelson.
She didn't pull up to the crime scene tape. She was driving down the street and then had to make a U-turn. It was blocked off. But she wasn't going to.
She couldn't help herself.
Nobody knew a murder was going to take place.
She exposed you all to some degree by those actions, didn't she?
No, not at all.
And then she threw you under the bus in her interview, didn't she?
Nobody knew a murder was going to take place.
She knew her husband had just been shot, and they were asking her who would want him dead, and she said your name. Are you mad about that?
No, she said a lot of people's names.
Well, she said yours in the first 25 pages of a 5-hour interview. Isn't that true?
I wasn't there for the interview.
But you've reviewed it in preparation for your trial, haven't you?
I actually don't know if I've seen her interview.
There was a lot of questions of you about, didn't you do this murder with Wendy? Doesn't the state think you did this murder with Wendy? Are you familiar with your charges in this case?
Yes, I'm very familiar with my charges.
All right. And who are you alleged to have done this murder with?
I'm alleged to have done this murder with my sister, my mom, and my dad.
Would it refresh your recollection to review a copy of the indictment in this case?
I'm a slow reader, but I could read it if you want.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Okay.
And this is the official charging document in your case, Dr. Adelson. What does it say in reference to who you are alleged to have committed the murder with?
This is, what day is this? 2022. Oh, they think I did a murder with Katie.
Catherine McBanoa.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Give me a minute, I'll read. They got Luis Rivera in here. They got Sigfredo Garcia.
As being alleged to have committed the murder with you?
Did I read it too quick?
Take your time. Should just be at the very top of each charge. On or about July 18th, 2014, did unlawfully.
Okay. Yeah, Katie. Catherine.
Okay. Are you mad that Wendy hasn't been charged and you have?
No, I'm mad that I got charged for a crime that I didn't commit.
Do you have any innate anger with Wendy over that fact?
No, not at all.
Are you pissed that she told all that stuff to Jeff Lacoste?
I don't think she said that to Jeff, but I wasn't there.
How did Lacoste know about the celebration dinner?
That we went out to dinner. She got sick, so she may have told someone that she threw up.
And then what, he just added the part about you referring to it as a celebration?
I never referred to it as a celebration dinner. I picked my sister up. I said, where do you want to go to eat? She said she wanted pizza or sushi. I said, I know a great sushi place. We went there. We didn't have reservations. We ended up sitting at the bar for an hour waiting for our table. And she had 2 drinks and got sick.
She vomited on the dinner table. Or at the dinner table.
Yeah, she got her to the bathroom. But yeah, she doesn't drink alcohol. So those 2 drinks, and I think on an empty stomach, I think she got really sick. But there was no celebration dinner. It was the first time that she actually really left the house since she got back from Tallahassee. She was devastated.
Did you say something to her about the murder of Dan Markel right before she vomited?
Absolutely not.
Do you remember what you said right before she vomited?
She was Probably, I think she said, "I don't feel well." And I say, "Oh no," and then she threw up.
Before that,
No, I think I said, "Oh no," and then she threw up.
before she announced that she was going to be ill,
Right.
do you remember what the conversation was?
Just how's the food? How's your? I mean, we were probably about halfway through dinner. If you look at the timetable, we weren't there long.
Why did you brag to Jeffrey Lacoste about your connection to the Cuban criminal element?
Never said that to Jeff Lacoste.
So he's making that up?
If he said it, I never said it.
Well, you were in here when he said it, weren't you?
I heard him say it, yeah. But I never said that to him.
On one of these calls, and it's in the context of talking about Dave and Wendy's relationship with Dave, you tell your mom that you've already gone above and beyond for Wendy. Was that a reference to having her ex murdered?
No, that's me getting tired of this Dave stuff. I mean, Dave's a great guy. I mean, everyone who meets him likes him. He's not only super successful, but he's very low-key, like T-shirts and jeans kind of guy. And he loved my sister's kids. I mean, if you listen to The Wire, the point I was making is not how successful it is. The point I was making is that my nephews farted on him, and he thought it was funny and didn't bother him. And he also has 3 young kids, the same ages as my sister's 2 young kids. They actually met in line when my sister was registering the kids for school, and they've been friends for years. So I thought it was a great opportunity for my sister to have a great guy in her life. And I was getting sick and tired of Dave calls, and The Wire started in April. My sister's birthday's in April, Dave's birthday's in April, so you got a ton of Dave chatter on this case. But believe me, I'd go crazy if I was talking about Dave like this all year long.
So that's a no. You did not reference having her ex murdered
Absolutely not.
when you said
No.
you've already gone above and beyond.
No,
for
that was
Wendy.
me getting sick of dealing with the Dave stuff. As great of a guy as he is, I was still getting sick of it.
When the $1 million offer was conceived, do you recall whose idea that was?
My parents.
Why was the relocation worth $1 million?
Well, it was actually I was going to pay a third, so I only looked at it as that way. Why was it worth it?
Mm-hmm. That's the question.
Because it was going to help my sister out, and it was going to give her a good opportunity for a good job down here, and she was going to be around family, and family's important, so that's why.
Isn't it true that financially you came out ahead on this deal as opposed to if you had coughed up the third of the $1 million offer?
How in the world did I come up ahead? This is the craziest thing.
Financially, you paid $138,000, then you paid $2,000 a month plus the $1,000 payroll amount. You're still about over $100,000 ahead financially than if you had coughed up the $333K.
No, I would have been better off paying. And first of all, I never paid for murders. This is a crazy question, but paying $3,000 a month for life is not anything anybody wants to do.
I didn't say anything about paying for a murder. I said you paid $138,000, which you did.
I got extorted for $330,000.
Charlie's defense strategy was bold. He claimed he was a victim of extortion. He testified that after Dan's passing, Catherine told him that if he didn't pay 1/3 of $1 million within 48 hours, he would be eliminated. Fearing for his life and the safety of his family, he claimed he paid Catherine the $138,000 in cash and agreed to the monthly payments through the dental practice checks. But prosecutors dismantled this narrative. If Charlie was truly being extorted, why didn't he contact authorities? Why were there friendly, affectionate text messages between him and Catherine after the alleged extortion began? In one exchange from February 2015, Catherine texted Charlie, "I always know how to make you smile, I love you." These didn't read like communications between an extortionist and her victim. Catherine Magbanua's testimony was particularly damaging. After maintaining her innocence through 2 trials, she finally admitted her role and pointed directly at Charlie as the mastermind. She testified that Charlie had called Dan a terrible person who had put his family through an ordeal and came up with the idea to eliminate his former brother-in-law. She said Charlie had been planting the seed since Halloween 2013, becoming more insistent by June and July of 2014 that the job needed to get done. The trial lasted 8 days. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. On November 6, 2023, the jury returned with their verdicts. Charlie Adelson dropped his head onto the defense table as the clerk read aloud, guilty of first-degree charges, guilty of conspiracy to commit the same, guilty of solicitation. Hours after the verdict, Charlie made a phone call from jail to his mother. Investigators recorded this conversation, and what was said would have profound implications.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Charlie.
an incarcerated individual at the Leon County Jail. This call is not private. It will be recorded and may be monitored. If you believe this should be a private call, please hang up and follow facility instructions to register this number as a private number. To accept charges and consent to this recorded call, press 1.
Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Charlie.
Hey. Hey, Dad, how are you?
How are you?
Okay.
I'm all right.
Where are you? Are you still in that cell?
Yeah, I'm still in here. So the chief's going to see me at some point today, and whenever he comes through, and then supposedly Dan's going to come to the jail, and I asked them, they said, when your attorneys get here, they'll take you out to see them. I'm sure I'll see them behind glass.
So I thought Dan, I didn't know that Dan went, I didn't know if he went home or not yesterday.
No, he's driving home today.
Okay. So they will let you see him today.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be behind glass. I'm going to be picking up a phone, talking to him through a sheet of glass.
So, did you get sleep last night?
Yeah, on and off. I mean, they got the lights on. It's bright in here. It's like I just wanted to call and say hi. I don't even know why.
No,
that's okay.
I'm glad you said it. I was actually just talking to Dan, so it's not like we were sleeping.
Yeah.
But
you were talking to Dad or Dan?
Dan.
It's cold.
Yeah, but gonna have to talk when we have a moment about things that we need to take care of. Okay?
Yeah, I know there's money and stuff like that. No, I got you.
Roman.
What?
I have things I need to take care of for Roman, and ways that we can take care of him and help him. So there's that, which is the most important. And then and figuring out about the dog. So gotta take care of things, Charlie. We gotta take care of things.
It's like I'm dead. I mean, I hate to tell you this. It ain't a whole lot different. Oh, fuck.
No, please, I know.
Oh, fuck. I listen to everybody.
Over the week following Charlie's conviction, he made 35 hours of phone calls from prison to his mother. They knew the calls were being recorded, yet they spoke at length. What were they discussing? Were they coordinating stories? Saying goodbye? Or was Donna, perhaps, trying to comfort her convicted son? Whatever was said in those calls, one thing became clear. Donna Adelson knew what was coming next. On the evening of November 13th, 2023, just 1 week after Charlie's conviction, FBI agents moved in. They found Donna at Miami International Airport with her husband Harvey. In her possession, a one-way ticket to Vietnam, a country with no extradition treaty with the United States. She was arrested on the spot, charged with first-degree criminal charges, conspiracy, and solicitation. The matriarch of the Adelson family, the woman who had signed all those checks to Catherine Magbanua, the woman who had allegedly washed the payoff money, was now facing the same fate as her son. Before Donna's case could proceed, Charlie faced his sentencing hearing.
Counts be run concurrently.
Very well. Mr. Adelson, I'm going to give you the opportunity to make a statement if you wish. You do not have to speak. However, this is your opportunity if you choose to do so.
I do.
You may stand.
Same. I would just like to say that I maintain my innocence.
Well, please rise. I am now going to pronounce the sentence. With the jury having found you guilty of all 3 counts that you were charged with in your indictment of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and solicitation to commit first-degree murder, I am going to adjudicate you guilty of all 3 at this time, and you are going to be sentenced as follows. As to count 1, the first-degree murder count pursuant to section 782.04 and 775.082 Florida statutes, you are sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of release or parole. As to count 2, you are going to be sentenced consecutively to 30 years in the Department of Corrections for conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. As to count 3, you are going to be sentenced to 30 years in the Department of Corrections consecutively for solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The credit for time served that applies in this matter is how much?
597.
597 days will be applied as credit for time served in this case. If the clerk could please read all fees and costs that would apply as well.
$2,100 as a fine pursuant to Florida Statute 775.083, $105 as a 5% surcharge required by Florida Statute 938.04, $20 as a court cost pursuant to Florida Statute 938.06, Crime Stopper Trust Fund, $3 as a court cost pursuant to Florida Statute 938.01, subsection 1, Criminal Justice Trust Fund, $50 pursuant to Florida Statute 938.03, Crimes Compensation Trust Fund, $225 pursuant to Florida Statute 938.05, Local Government Criminal Justice Trust Fund, $2 as a court cost pursuant to Florida Statute 938.15, County Criminal Justice Education, County Code 7-26, $50 as a court cost pursuant to Florida Statute 775.083, subsection 2, County Crime Prevention, $3 as a court cost pursuant to Florida Statute 938.19, Teen Florida Assessment, Mayor County Florida Code 7-28, $65 as a court cost pursuant to Florida Statute 939.185, County Additional Court Cost, County Code 7-24, with a total of $2,623.
Mr. Rauschbaum, is there any lawful objection for you to raise to the assessment as announced by the clerk?
No, Your Honor.
Those amounts will be assessed at this time. Ms. Kappelman, I will reserve 90 days of jurisdiction to address the cost of prosecution in this case. By statute, the state is entitled to the 100, but this is in excess of the 100 is what you're referring to.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. 30 days to appeal both your conviction and now your sentence. Mr. Adelson, you are going to be fingerprinted today, and from here you are going to be sent to the Department of Corrections to begin serving your sentence. Mr. Rauschbaum, if you please can timely file the notice of appeal so that way there is no issues regarding any review of the conviction itself. Does either party have anything further to raise to the court before we finish for today?
Nothing from the state.
No, Your Honor.
We are in recess. Mr. and Mrs. Markel, have a good day. Thank you for being available so you can provide your victim impact statements. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You can take this. This is the pre-sentence investigation information. Two count one.
On December 12, 2023, Charlie Adelson stood before the same judge who had presided over his trial. Dan Markel's family joined via video call from Canada, finally able to address the court about their devastating loss and the grandson relationship stolen from them. Before the sentence was announced, Charlie briefly stood and said, "I would just like to say that I maintain my innocence." The judge sentenced Charlie to life in prison for the first-degree conviction, plus an additional 30 years each for the conspiracy and solicitation convictions. Charlie Adelson, the man who thought money could solve any problem, who drove a Ferrari with Maestro on the plates, who earned millions annually, would spend the rest of his life behind bars. He was initially held at Wakulla Correctional Institution, then moved to Columbia Correctional Institution in Lake City, Florida. Later, due to security concerns common in high-profile cases, he was transferred out of state to a prison in South Dakota, where he remains today. Donna Adelson's trial began in August 2025. Prosecutors painted her as the controlling matriarch who had been deeply involved in her daughter's divorce, writing mediation notes and suggesting legal strategies. They presented evidence that she had signed all 44 checks to Catherine Magbanua. They showed that Dan's car make, model, and tag numbers were written in Donna's daily planner. They demonstrated that she had dropped off the payoff money at Charlie's house on July 18, 2014, the day Dan was eliminated. Donna initially planned to testify, but ultimately decided against it after struggling with the decision and clashing with the presiding judge over time to prepare. On September 4th, 2025, after 3 hours of deliberation, the jury returned guilty verdicts on all counts. "Oh my God," Donna said audibly, bursting into sobs after the first guilty verdict was read. On October 13th, 2025, she was sentenced to life imprisonment. She is currently 75 years old. 5 people have now been convicted in Dan Markel's elimination: Luis Rivera, Sigfrido Garcia, Catherine Magbanua, Charlie Adelson, and Donna Adelson. But questions remain. What about Wendy Adelson? She has never been charged, though investigators have named her in court documents as a co-conspirator. She has repeatedly denied any involvement or knowledge. The evidence against her is largely circumstantial. She drove by Dan's house shortly after the incident, later explaining to police she was showing the neighborhood to a friend. She was the one with the motive, the custody battle. Yet prosecutors have not charged her. What about Harvey Adelson, Donna's husband and Charlie's father? He was with Donna when she was arrested at the airport. He too has never been charged, though his involvement in the family business and his presence at key moments raises questions. When asked if the investigation is ongoing, prosecutors have consistently said, "Stay tuned." Beyond the legal proceedings, beyond the convictions, this case is ultimately about profound loss and injustice. Dan Markel was a devoted father and a respected scholar. His parents, Ruth and Phil Markel, lost their son in the most violent way imaginable. For years after the initial arrests in 2016, Wendy cut off contact between the Markel grandparents and their grandchildren. She even changed the boys' last names from Markel to Adelson, claiming it was for their safety. Florida's restrictive grandparent visitation laws meant the Markels had no legal avenue to petition for time with their grandsons. It wasn't until the convictions began that limited contact was finally restored. But those years, those precious years of childhood, can never be recovered. The two boys who lost their father that July day in 2014 are now teenagers. They've grown up knowing their father was taken from them, that members of their own extended family orchestrated his demise. How do you reconcile that? How do you move forward? This case reveals dark truths about what can happen when wealth, obsession, and a belief that rules don't apply collide. The Adelsons had everything: money, success, social standing. But they couldn't accept the one thing they couldn't control: a court order keeping Wendy's children in Tallahassee. Charlie Adelson believed money could solve any problem. Need a new car? Buy it. Want a trip to the Dominican Republic? Pay for it. Have a family member stuck in an inconvenient custody arrangement? He apparently believed that too had a price. The coded language, the careful distance between Charlie and the actual perpetrators, the use of Catherine as a buffer, all of it showed planning and awareness of wrongdoing. If Charlie truly believed he was being extorted, as he claimed, his actions tell a different story. Extortion victims go to police. Extortion victims don't pay steadily for nearly 2 years. Extortion victims don't have friendly conversations with their supposed extortionists. The recorded conversations after the bump operation are particularly revealing. When Charlie said, "If they had any evidence, we would have already gone to the airport," he was showing consciousness of guilt. He was thinking like someone who had committed a serious offense, not like an innocent person confused by a potential extortionist. Charlie Adelson's conviction, along with his mother's, represents justice delayed but not denied. It took over 9 years from Dan Markel's demise to Charlie's conviction. It took over 11 years to convict Donna. But the system slowly and methodically followed the evidence. The enhanced audio technology that allowed prosecutors to finally hear the Dolce Vita restaurant conversation clearly was the breakthrough they needed. Sometimes justice depends on technology catching up to the evidence. Sometimes it requires witnesses like Catherine Magbanua finally deciding to tell the truth, even though it came after her own conviction. This case serves as a reminder that violence, no matter how carefully planned or how much money is spent to create distance from it, leaves traces. Financial records don't lie. Cell phone data creates timelines. Enhanced audio reveals words that were once hidden by background noise. For the Markel family, no verdict can bring Dan back. No prison sentence can restore the relationship between grandparents and grandchildren during those lost years. But there is some measure of closure in knowing that those responsible are being held accountable. This case continues to develop. If you want to stay updated on any new developments in the Dan Markel investigation, make sure you're subscribed to Dark Trail Files. We follow these cases from beginning to end, providing detailed analysis and updates as they happen. Share this video with anyone interested in true crime, especially cases that involve family dynamics, custody battles, and the dark side of wealth. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments. What struck you most about this case? Do you think there will be additional charges? What's your opinion on the remaining unanswered questions? Remember, every subscription, every like, every share helps us continue bringing you thoroughly researched true crime content. Thank you for being part of the Dark Trail Files community. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay informed, and remember that justice, though sometimes slow, can still prevail.